All right, welcome to the channel. It is Christmas Eve. It took me about an hour to find a topic to talk about today because I'm running out of topics. I've made over 350 videos at this point and thousands of them before this. So I have I've talked a lot on YouTube. And today I came across this particular video in which it was something to do with, can you be comfortable without being rich? And that's a question that I often ask myself because if we're always going to be uncomfortable, what's the point of being alive? Sometimes I sit and I wonder, when did simply existing become so expensive? I mean, think about it. You work hard, maybe even earn what they call good money, and yet you're still juggling bills, stretching every paycheck like it's some sort of magic trick. Gas, groceries, rent. It all feels like a punishment for just being alive. This is something that I have said for many years, is that I didn't want to be born. I didn't want to spend my whole life struggling. I didn't want the parents I got. I didn't want the life that I could afford. If I could take it all back and put myself right back into where I came out of, I would in a heartbeat. Nothing about my life to this point has been worth living. There's been no love, there's been no money, and there's been nothing but darkness and despair sitting in this tiny roach infested apartment on Christmas Eve with nothing to do and no one to talk to. That's what the life is of a poor orphan. I mean, it's just what we thought was going to be good money when we were starting out. Because you think about this number, right? You think about, let's say your number's $100,000. And then you get there, but that number doesn't mean anything anymore. $100,000, $50,000 20 years ago meant that you were someone. $50,000 now means you could be working at a grocery store and be making that. Some of the girls that work at Kroger's that started out in high school now make about $45 to $50,000 a year. And if you stop and think about what that number is, remember the minimum wage right now is about $30,000 in Arizona. So if you just add a little bit onto the minimum wage and you get to 50,000, you're not going to be living very high on the hog. In fact, most of these people that work there it's very depressing to see them day in and day out. No matter how cute they are, you know that at their very core, they can't afford to do anything. They're probably sitting inside of their apartments just like I am right now, wondering when the next cockroach is going to pop up and whether or not you're going to make it to your next paycheck. That's kind of the great American pastime has become waiting around to get paid again and wondering what you'll be able to afford in the new year, or whether or not this crazy future president elect that we have is truly insane. Like yesterday, I saw on the news that he was trying to take away the Panama Canal after giving it back to Panama after years of owning it, and then he's trying to buy Canada or Greenland. I mean, the guy's deranged, but this isn't a politics channel. It's just an observation. This is the guy at the helm of the Titanic, and we, as in the proletariat, you and I are in the third deck. So we got that man drinking while maneuvering between icebergs, and it's going to be us who ends up reaping the rewards of going to the bottom of the ocean without much say in it because of poor decisions that were made above us. And when it comes down to it, we live the way we do because of poor decisions made by people who don't understand what it's like to be poor. Because being comfortable isn't just about a number, it's about a lot of different things. So there's a lot of factors to being comfortable. Frankly, I could toss money out the window because I would focus on the other things that we need to be comfortable. The number one thing that I think that we're missing to be comfortable is simply having actual time off. The inability to afford meaningful downtime creates a cycle of exhaustion that feels inescapable. Even when I come home from my regular 9 to 5 job, I have to do this because this generates the extra income that I need in order to be able to live. Without this, my life got pretty miserable. I was missing these YouTube paychecks for the last 3 months when I wasn't getting one because I got demonetized. My life definitely got much, much worse. But what this means is that I'm constantly having to be a content creator, whether I'm out in my car, I'm at the park, at the grocery store. I have to be thinking of new ideas all the time. Even while I'm sleeping or browsing the internet or looking at a newspaper, it doesn't matter. There is no downtime if this is one of your jobs. If you're a full time content creator like I am, I have to wake up every morning at 6, make a video. I have to come home from work, make a video. During the day, I like to create shorts so I can keep my views where they are right now. Right now, with as hard as I have to work on YouTube, my views are finally nearly where I would like them on a stable basis, right? But this is exhausting. And so, let's see. This is what else I was going to say on this topic. How even rest has become a privilege. Paid time off isn't often used to catch up on chores or reset for more work rather than for true leisure. So, obviously, I'm on paid time off, I'm on vacation. Am I doing anything? No. And these days off that you do take, like I will take a sick day or for a mental health day every once in a while. And what that day is, it gives me the ability to go do things that I need to get done that I can't do on the weekend. So I use a lot of that time in order to, let's say, go shopping during the week when I just don't have time to do it on the weekend. Or I will go get a haircut because sometimes you have to wait in line for a while. Or you have to take care of yourself in some other way. Go to the doctor, go to the dentist, um, go get something done. You have to be able to take that time off, and it's not like you get to just enjoy it. The privilege of just being able to do nothing is not afforded to the proletariat. We have to constantly be thinking about how we're going to spend that time and use it effectively. Leisure, just going to the beach and just laying on the by by the water, right? It's just not something the proletariat can do. Even if that were me, even if I was on a beach right now, chances are I would be live streaming from there because you need that ad revenue. For some reason, Crickety Crickets told me she got an ad for a Tesla on one of my videos. I have no idea that the algorithm thinks that the people that come to this channel have money. This is one of the brokest places on the internet, and you're giving ads for Teslas to the people that watch this channel. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not going to buy a Tesla, at least not in this lifetime. All right, moving on to our next talking point, the rising trend of paying for services and products that were once straightforward purchases. So, this is something that I never paid for a video editing software. I always used the one that was built right into Microsoft, right? The video clip editor for Microsoft. And for some reason, one day, I got on my computer and it wasn't there anymore. And that was the day in which I had to go find another product for doing these small edits that I make on my videos. And this meant that I had to, a once free service turned into my having to buy Premiere in order to make videos. And it's just this is one example, but there are thousands of examples of where we used to do things that were free. And now everything costs money. And the number one thing that I remember doing for free when I was a kid, and I don't mind this because it's a necessary evil. I don't understand why it has to be so expensive. But when you go to the lake, it's a $20 parking fee. Parking should be free. I understand that they use the money to maintain the parks and other services, but when I was a kid, going to the river or going outdoors didn't come with the price tag other than the gas it costs to get there. But every part of our life seems to somehow be oriented with a subscription. Your Amazon subscription, your Hulu subscription. You can't just turn your TV on anymore and just watch TV on a Saturday afternoon. Like when I was a kid, Godzilla was really big and they had monster movies on Saturday afternoon. Now we have your Amazon Prime subscription, and sometimes I can't think of anything to watch at night because I'm sitting here pondering. It's like, well, how many of these things do you really need? Like, I don't know. Subscription services really rub me the wrong way because it's also very hard to get out of them. Have you tried to get out of your gym membership before? It is absolutely ridiculous the hoops they make you jump through when you just want to go up to the counter and tell them, I don't want to pay anymore. They just kind of look at you like, we don't understand. What do you mean you don't want to pay anymore? That's what you want. And these companies make it difficult to get rid of subscriptions on purpose. But do you know what they make really easy to do? Signing up for them. Like recently, I had to add extra storage to my Gmail account because I wanted to put more of my pictures and videos up there. And of course, you gotta pay. And instead of paying monthly, I just paid for the whole year, which was like, I think, $15 for the added storage. And again, next year on that exact same day when I'm going to remember, why did I need this? And then you don't use it. And that's another big problem is with when they started making software subscription based, you wonder, do I really need to spend $20 a month for Acrobat? Or you ask yourself these things all the time because you wonder why you're not comfortable. And a lot of it is that nickel and diming you constantly. Everywhere you go, someone wants a tip. And if you haven't noticed this, a lot of the places that you go to, the tip is already preset. And especially when they preset that tip at 30%. Oh, if there's something that really triggers me at the counter is when you look at the tip and it already says 30%. And you know what I do every single time I see a 30% tip? I set it back to 10% regardless. No one should have to pay 30% on anything. I don't care how great the service is. It's just extra fees that are nickel and diming you, which comes back to our recurring theme here. If you're constantly strapped for cash, regardless of how much you make, will you ever be comfortable with the life that you can afford? And the answer to that is not one that I like, but no. Because the only way that the system works is by making certain that you don't have money. The only way they can keep you coming back to work is if you need more money. At the point that you get comfortable, why would you go to a place that makes you uncomfortable? The greatest cause of mental health in this country is unlivable wages and jobs that suck. That toxic work environment, that constant fear you have of losing your job or finding out that they're going to downsize your department, everyone is feeling that because the amount of layoffs that we saw last year with all the store closures is only going to increase as those people who own those places don't just stop owning those companies that close down. Every single rich person in America will shut down a business that's not making record profits. But they're already thinking of the next way that they're going to rip us off of our paychecks, whether that's entertainment, selling us terrible food, or any conceivable way. As long as the proletariat has money in their pockets, there's already some guy thinking about how he's going to take it out of your pocket. Right now, they're actively coming up with these business models because rich people can't stand being rich. They want to be richer. Unlike us, the lower tier people, we just want to be comfortable. But unfortunately, when you have greed that's run amok in our society, they will never allow us to be comfortable because comfortable means it's costing them money. If you're comfortable at your job, nobody wants you being comfortable at your job. You should always be uncomfortable at work because that's the way it was designed. The sadistic people who built our system had this implicit design to make certain that we're anxious and depressed and we're constantly looking to buy something to relieve the stress that we're constantly under. Why do you think consumerism works? It's because you have people that you're taking advantage of every single day and making certain that they never get comfortable in any conceivable way. You make more money, inflation takes it away. You make more money, inflation takes it away. Or you get something else that you want to do with the money that you have, which means that you have to keep stretching your dollar in order to get the things that you want. And I would even say just getting the things that you need is becoming more and more impossible. So, to end the video, will we ever be comfortable without being rich? No. Being rich and being comfortable is the only way that we can come to be live in a balanced society. Work-life balance only happens once you become rich.